we are happy to have with us a person who can help each of us help ourselves and help others. His name is Michael Wynn. He's also known as Coach Wynn. He's the founder and CEO of Wynn and Wingate Associates, LLC. As a habit success coach, financial mentor, and AI consultant, he empowers leaders, business teams, and organizations to turn obstacles into winning strategies through structured habits, disciplined decision-making, and financial clarity. His work is grounded in the belief that your habits will determine your level of success. Michael is also a member of John Wesley. Without further ado, I bring to you Michael D. Wynn.
All right. Thank you, Brother Jackson. At this time, if I can ask y'all, make sure y'all phones are muted. He is taping, so don't go off. But it's a pleasure, first of all, thank you in this cold weather to be here to enrich, allow me to empower you in this information that I want to share. As well, as you know, our lives are changing, the economy is changing, and there's cutbacks, but we won't collapse. I had to go through a list of titles to find an appropriate meaning for the state of government. Outside of what I do, I was an auditor over 35 years. I still do contract work for the state of Michigan, Department of Education, and connected with some of the other agencies. And it's oftentimes we think about how, when we look at statistics, how are we surviving? And I'll go over some of those statistics. So I won't keep you long. I had that request. No, I have to tease my grow leader over there. But I want to share some valuable information. Financial steward under pressure, mastering the art of protecting and preserving your wealth through proven habits. That stands firm in this economic situation. We have to understand what uncertainty is. Let's see if I got this going right. Oh, it's working a minute ago. There we go, sorry about that. The structure that holds cutbacks are real and collapse are optional. When money is tight and the future is uncertain, this is where we have to find a strong foundation, like the structures. It's just a matter of time when we understand what it is that we have to stand on. We have to stand on our beliefs. So I want to talk to you about 3 habits to replace financial anxiety, because we oftentimes connected with it. And confidence, and becoming a steward that we're supposed to be with our funds. The 3 habits I want to share with you is the habit of clarity, is knowing exactly where every dollar goes. The habit of protection is to shield your assets from this unnecessary loss that we're going through. And the habit of legacy is preserving order and peace for those who come after you. The habit of clarity, understanding the complete picture of financial life. I often talk as an auditor when I go and do engagements, I talk about the report. The report that they don't often want to hear is how bad they did, because they suspect that when I get done, I'm only there to give them bad news. For some reason, the other auditors. See, I'm a good auditor. I'm the angel, Michael, the angel auditor. So I come with good tidings. But the challenge is that we have to understand where our state of economy is and where we are. Oftentimes people don't want to talk about it, but the truth is, number one, nationally we're only 57% financially literate. And I'm talking about America. I'm not talking about breaking the ethnic groups out. America, actually, we're not even 57%. The latest statistics dropped us down to like in the 50-ish range. That means out of adults, this particular statistic show that out of 10 adults, 4 of them are not connecting with how financial literacy should work. The biggest problem is number 2. We have a problem in Michigan educating our kids. Our young kids are 44 out of 50 with 4th grade reading. And if they can't read at a 4th grade level, they can't comprehend and moving into the 8th grade, which we usually talk about gearing them up for financial literacy, because we're fortunate to have personal finance in the curriculum in 2020. Which means that high school students have to graduate with at least half credit. That's not much, but they can't just graduate with that. So that starts now. When children are reading, they need to understand the whole concepts of reading, math, reading, money, those type of things. And number 3 is no better. It's because the current tests show they pick curriculum years and they test people out. We're talking Gen Z. On the average, and again, this is the higher end, is 38% of a 25-question financial test, meaning simple questions are not being passed. And we as business owners, some of us are business owners, we are challenged with our resources. We have to have the opportunity to do all our part. We can't just keep passing them on as good targets for success when we know that we need them to embody. When we talk about legacy, you'll see what the whole concept of tie-in. So budgeting comes first. And why the clarity first is because financial fog is expensive. When you lack clarity in income and your obligations, you become lost. It's dark. Clarity in every account, you should map out and understand what it takes to at least break even, is what I always say. Use that as a target. Every recurring charge, identify it. We have to set ourselves to be committed and document it. I often talk about the billions of dollars that we look at, and it's oftentimes we don't get critical, at least in my setting, don't get critical of how and who processed that. But I can tell y'all, some of them don't even know. Some of them are getting 6 figures, and we are sitting here going over and over this process. As we sit here now, I know this board member, Jillian Holloway, don't want to hear, the state of our school systems, Tri-County, 2025, and increase the list of partnership schools. So we talked about the level of 4th grade reading. Partnerships mean that the schools are even doing worse. And unfortunately, Southfield just became on it. So if you go to Southfield, you ask your teachers, you ask your board, why are we on the partnership list and how do we get off of it? Detroit Public Schools been on it. So all of these things that have to tie in our mindset when we talk about budgeting. Pardon? It's only one school because we have 2 schools, just one school. But we have a system where we hope none of the schools are on it, especially in Michigan. That's our goal. When I started back in 2009, we had a top 10 and 10, which we were going at a pretty good rate. We were still only 30. And now we have to realize, because it feeds into everything that we do. And we want our young people to be viable when they get out, to be able to purchase a home and buy the cars and build the businesses, those things are connected. Every goal should qualify for it. When it comes to budgeting, it's not that bad. We first identify what is our needs. We need housing, we need food, we need utilities, we need transportation and healthcare. And each of these points, I have a newsletter that I'll be sending out, so I hope if you sign the sign-in sheet and it's legible on the various cuts that, I can't remember that guy's name in the White House. But anyway, what you need to know and do, there's websites and there's information that our veterans, our housing, our senior citizens should be aware of, and I'll send you that information. Because we only can use that information to protect our lives. If we don't, then no one else is going to do it for us. And we have to share that information, and we have to understand how do we help seniors. We don't want to see situations again where seniors are going without and just feel, just because they don't have kids, that they're crippled in their situation. It's our job as Christians. It's our jobs to support. The wants, when we talk about emotional things, we got comfort, we have convenience, and we have status. I'm going to ask this question, and don't y'all be afraid, but how many of y'all are poor at money management? Poor at money management. Well, I know it's more of us. I am, and it's not a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing, being bad at poor. My wife let me know recently, we haven't been on a vacation in a while. So one of the things when you manage your money, you manage all aspects of your income. Can somebody tell me what's the first thing in budget, the first rule of budget? Amen. Pay yourself first means the savings, the vacation you think about, you save in order to get to that critical point. So when it came to us, we ignore, we work, and that's okay, we go. We had a great time. We went to Carousel outside of, not too far from Aruba. Beautiful place. But the point is, if you keep working, you feel obligated to work, and you don't have that release, and tension build, and stress build. And stress starts, financial stress, then you think, I owe myself something before you paid yourself first. Now you're buying more than you can really support yourself in. So that's just a moving ball. So we got to pay attention to what it is and how we want to live. And oftentimes, we need to make sure that we tell young people, before they set up and go to school, what is your plans? How are you budgeting? How do you think through this whole process? Because oftentimes they pay attention to us. And if we're not doing what we're supposed to do, there's no way they can do what they're supposed to do, right? Security buys peace. Emergency savings plan. How many of y'all learned that COVID? That emergency ain't no joke. I was in Grand Rapids, and we was waiting for the call because we had heard China and all these people were dealing with COVID. We didn't know, and we could not stop. We was actually behind in doing what we did. And I remember so well when they said that we shut down the state. At that time, stuff was just moving so fast. The cost of water, the cost of gas, everything was just going up. And I can only remember people that wasn't prepared for it. They say 3 to 6 months savings to support what you need, because anything could happen, especially with this administration now. The rugs are being pulled. Amazon is getting ready to lay off more people, I just read. So we have to think about that. Insurance coverage. Fraud awareness is on the rise. And we'll talk about that a little more, but you have to secure yourself when it comes to all these different things that we want to believe, that we can do this. We ain't going to collapse. Now here's some of the common budget rules. Some might be familiar, and I'll share with you my thoughts on them. Is that when you think about it, you have to come to a process of learning how. There's an 80-20 rule. And all it is some of them, they say them that way, I say them they should be the other way. But the 80-20 rule says spend your necessities and then save 20%. I always say that they call it 80-20, but if you're paying yourself, it should be 20-80. Especially number 2, 50-30-20 rule, talks about set aside 50% of your income for needs, 30% for your wants, and 20% for savings. Again, this should be the 20-50-30 rule. Where you put that 20% away to save, 50% you know you need to live with, and then you have that 30% to play around. You have a little more, and some of these people have to know their emotions if they can deal with having 30% and give you a little more freedom, but are you really doing what you're supposed to do? Some of them like this one. This is one of my favorite ones, 15-50, 15-20, which they got it right. 15% for saving, 50% for needs, 15% for investments, so you over and above, and then you have 20% for fun. You know, you can go out, get shop, get your hair done, your nails, all those good things, and you don't have to worry about it. You know that you're protected for the future. Insurance gaps. All these insurance issues are coming to rise. Can anybody tell me the latest insurance problem we're seeking now? Not just health care. Insurance has gotten so good. Now the last 3 months, Geico first denied a claim because the kids wasn't on the policy, right? Then Progressive, and a couple other ones that said, okay, we're going to see how it works now with adults. So some of us might have kids living in college overseas. Some of us might have a connection with somebody using your address. They are denying. I don't know if you saw the lady that got her car stolen and a neighbor who had the Ring camera. They denied her. It's because she had 2 or 3 people using her address, and the policy is written, it's always been written that way. Your household. Who's in your household? And I don't know, people think that they can't find it out. I'm a fraud examiner. I've been doing that for years to find out who's in the household. It's not hard. But the point of the matter, if things are changing, 68%, first of all, people are not uninsured. They're underinsured. They're homeowners. They can't afford it. At least their mindset is, I just stop at the first one instead of shopping or making the deals that we do. We have to change our legislature saying that to identify credit with insurance don't make no sense. Just give us a break. And then umbrella policies, inadequate disabilities. Insurance is a big deal. It's a big deal. And the insurance agencies are making a whole lot of money. Yeah. The hidden cost of subscription is another one that we're finding that is a problem. It's because a lot of us have apps. A lot of us are joining all of these good things. And what they say is, it's only $10 a month. It's only $5 a month until you charge it. They charging you the annual. It's because they know 1 or 2 things going to happen. You might think that you're getting charged monthly, and you find out later, especially if it's through AT&T on your cell phone or whatever connected. Subscriptions is creeping. They found that the app systems, those are big money makers now. So you got to be careful. If it's not in your budget to pay a monthly fee, then don't do it. Because that's the only way. And then you have to go find the time to go back and get your money back if that wasn't your intentions. These quarterly subscriptions, they can recover over $1,000. Now I know you see some of the apps. Actually, Rocket Money is one of my favorite. Mint is a good one, and even Honey-Do List. Why didn't I tell you about that one, baby? Sorry about that. Honey-Do List is a good one because you can identify the things that you need to do through those budget apps. But you have to pay attention to what you're getting and how you're using them. And I highly recommend that some form you should put together in order to know where your money is. Because it don't get easier. So here's the deal, 30-day challenge. Let's talk about budgeting, gathering, categorizing, calculating, and consolidating. Write a list of your accounts, your subscriptions, all these recurring payments with no exceptions. Know where your money is going. Group expenses into essential. Know what is questionable. Do I really need this now, or can I wait for it? Determine monthly burn rates. Those burn rates is like, okay, I got a little leniency, but I can't do it every month. I can't do it every week. We oftentimes find a comfort reason of why we do stuff, and then we might regret it. Because I know it's a whole lot of folks around Christmas time hate for January and February to come when those bills come out. You know, those babies wanted those little toys, knowing that putting it on your credit card is not a good idea. So we have to think through that process. That's the 30-day challenge we should all put together. Let's talk about protection. Habit 2, safeguarding your assets. Now, I recently became actually certified as an AI consultant. And the scariest thing is artificial intelligence. Brother Lau and Brother Woods and a few people were able to go to one of the presentations I did last year, and I talked about deep fakes. And I had a series of people that they had to identify, and it was hard to identify them. And these people can be linked to information you think might be your lawyer or has something happened to them. Well, let's go a little further, because now with AI they use deep fake, cloning voice, and they have you on the ropes. And there's some things that you really have to be careful about, because the cost is really getting serious when it comes to trying to protect yourself and recovering from it. The new landscape of financial threats is AI. It's powerful. It can do anything. You can write, and I'm working on a 4th book, how to protect yourself from it, because what I learned that I did 11 lives and I had that voice and people couldn't even determine who it was. It was me, that I could put in a system and tell that system to do anything and send somebody an email. So all of that stuff you hear, you have to be careful. And we're challenged, especially if we seniors, we challenge. And I'm a proud 67-year-old senior. So I'm gonna tell you that it's amazing what this new technology does. It's digital security, and actually they send stuff out now to authenticate, falsely authenticate you. We gotta go look at those emails, where they're coming from. We have to make those phone calls. And if we're not sure, the first thing is to go and find some way to find out. Because see, scammers they hack your emotions, then they hack your money. They're good at that. So we have to understand what this is doing. Now, we got situations like with voice cloning. Criminals use AI big time, because it's not the old systems that you used to have where you can check the spelling, or somebody is saying my grandbaby in a jail. No, they are finding more about us. It's because even if we don't share it, somebody else is sharing our information. That's just the way of the world. We don't have control over the people that get our information. They might go out of business. Where's that information? How many of y'all trust in the cloud? Yeah, all of us got something in the cloud. Now just think about who run the cloud. Humans, right? Some of them humans know exactly who you are, who your password, what your password is, and what you're doing. Deepfake video calls. And we did this whole process where a law firm was one of that was sending these calls, and we had to go through and determine who was fake, and just the communication. And there was a number of us, some people from the FBI, some of us fraud examiners, some of them, we failed. Because it was that clear. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
What I made is before I purchase anything online is to look at the review. Because for me personally, that's my front line deterrent. Because if I'm thinking about a subscription, first thing I do is go to a Google review.
Yeah.
And find out what the flip side is saying. If there's anything negative, that's a deterrent for me. that a
It is one of our attempts. We have to be aware. We have to be more vigilant on just about every moment of uncertainty. That's how it works. But yes. Now personalizing fishing with a P is all kind of different footprints that they make. Now the biggest thing is that we all think that we see an email and we say, I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to click on it. And you know what the scammer say? I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it. Because one time you're going to be frustrated, you're going to see something that looks normal, you press on it. The second time you might do it, or somebody at your computer doing it. But let me tell you what's on the rise now. I'm not here to scare you. I'm only here to try to give you the facts. But ransomware has almost tenfold. Now, 1986, I was working for the state doing road transportation, doing road commission audits, and the guy was scammed because he was using the money, first of all. He was using it and he was actually embezzling money. But the problem was he clicked on a site that required ransomware. Now this was back in the 80s. And they lock up and you don't know who it is. And there's only one way to get paid. And the reason I know that was because fast forward to 2020, they hate for us to tell this story as auditors, but the state police, ransomware, they had to pay ransomware. Well, now since AI, that's one of the bigger problems. That a lot of us, if you click on something, it's only going to give you 2 notices. You can shut the computer off all you want, but they got you. Your stuff is locked out. So it's important to know when you see these links, if you don't know who it is, first of all, just put it in trash. If it's that important, they'll call you back. They'll find a way to get in touch with you. The same as with some calls. If you don't know them, just don't answer them. You got to be aware of phishing. You got to be aware of spear phishing. Phishing is where they just send stuff out randomly. Spear phishing is they know something about you and you know something about somebody else. So it's easy for me to call Mr. Crawford and tell Mr. Crawford that I need to talk with him and get in an engaging conversation, and I need him to send me some information because I know about him. So that's what spear phishing is. And then we have to understand, again, ransomware is no joke. Managing impulses, reaction, that's what they do. They play on your emotions before they hack your money. So the defense protocol is to enable, you spoke about checking information out, freezing your accounts, establish a secret phrase. If somebody's going to call you and your family, know what that phrase is. You know, requesting for money, it's easy to find out. Isn't it odd that y'all see on the news these people that are giving Bitcoin money and all the large amounts of money? It's because some of these people are so convincing. One lady, because her son was a sheriff, she was protecting him. She paid $52,000 to someone that required money in the Bitcoin. It don't seem, some of us will say that's odd, but some people know that's a form of payment now. So people just say, okay, I don't want no part of it. And there's other scams that are really amazing. I have to say, I've seen some of them that are amazing. Simple defense measures block 90% of your attacks. If you just stay liberty, like he said, go and check the people out. If you see us out, people will tell, they write comments. Because oftentimes people who are scammed, they don't like to tell somebody else. I had a situation, a lady here on a Canadian lottery, and for the longest, her mother wouldn't tell her. So people don't like to really get into telling you something, but go out and check that information out. Update things quarterly when you have your malware and you have all these different connections. That's the only way we're going to live. Sorry. So this is what I'm writing about now is awareness, verification, documentation, digital disciplines, continuous learning, emotional regulation. Continuous learning is a key because we get so comfortable. And sharing information with accountability. This is my fourth book, which all my books now is going towards my mentoring group. But the fact is that I had to find a way to take what I have, and I'm part of a mastermind, and I have a unique situation to talk about why are we in this state of uncertainty that's building, and what do we do? And when you get into these rooms and people start telling you stuff, it's amazing how 5 years later, what do we do? How are we going to even live through this? Especially if our young people are not aware. So we got to stay focused on that. This habit of legacy. This is the third point that I want to make with you. And oftentimes we don't think about how important legacy is, especially when it comes to the writing wills and doing all that legal stuff that Mr. Jackson know all about. But I had two unique situations. One, a client of mine was telling me about her aunt that had a significant amount of money. And what she had 3 kids, and she had a niece. She fell out with her niece. Her niece was out in the street. Her niece was a drug addict. Her niece did. She had everything going that was negative to her household. The problem is that she didn't have no information or no connection what she should be doing quarterly. So when she passed on, she never took that niece off as a beneficiary. She was an equal share with the kids. And that's the thing that I had, after talking to her, I shared my story with her about my grandmother who had the book. She'd say, my grandmother was one of six girls, my great-grandfather, who left a legacy to us. There's a farm that he had, and each of us shared timber and soybeans or whatever grown on the farm, but he had this vision. And so my grandmother lived that vision. She would have a book. Her book had everything in it. The book had her accounts. That insurance man, some of I don't have to date myself because I'm 60. I know y'all have heard the insurance man that come by every week would get $27. And when that person died, they only had a policy of $2,000. Well, she had that information in there. She even had a lottery numbers in there. She had everything in the book. So when I was thinking through this whole process, I was on my way up to our reunion, and a relative of mine was saying, because I was working on another book, if you can put this out, this information is valuable. And the book is something that is personal to the person who holds it. Writing that information, you don't have to put amounts in there, because people oftentimes, especially if they don't have kids, you don't know what that person might have. There was another client that they did a GoFundMe on her. She lived like she was poor. This lady had so much money. She had money in the uncovered in the state, and they didn't know that. They doing a GoFundMe to bury her, and they had that information. So a unique way we protect our legacy is recording what we have, because we're not going to be here forever, and able to send something to the next generation. We want to be able to know that it's there, and it's not sitting in a place where lawyers are collecting it or whatever the case may be. Legacy is not about wealth, it's about order. And the greatest gift you can give to your family, it isn't an inheritance, it's when you care about the clarity of knowing what you have and how you have to process that information, updating your beneficiaries, knowing that I still want this person on here, I still have these documentation, I know where this is, and you have to be able to be at a point, if you get sick, that somebody can pick that information up and go to the next person and share that information where it's needed. Those trusted advisors, anybody that's going to process their work for you. And so when I wrote it, I was thinking in mind, I talked to people in terms of how quarterly information, it gives you pages to record information that's not particularly in there, but at least you can sit down with your kids and say, this is where I'm at. All other details will fall in place of how much is in there. But oftentimes, We used to do audits for when they had bank accounts. These banking system, if they had safe deposit box that hadn't been worked on, or they have money that's left that goes to the state, uncovered, that takes months. We had a situation in our family. My mother remarried, and my mother aunt left her money. And for years it was in Chicago. And my mother died and my stepfather died. And there was money sitting there in Chicago. When we went down there, we was happy. All this money, we're going to get it. They said, no, you get half of it. Now remind you, my stepfather married my mother way after. He was grown a long time. But the fact she was married, Frank could tell you, there's legalese information. So instead of us getting that money, our step brothers and sisters shared in half of it. And some of those things, again, you have to know what assets you have and how your assets are being protected and processed. So this information I want to share with you have spaces for that. Beneficiary designations are mistakes. Again, 401ks accounts, life insurance, bank account. You should know what all of that stuff is. You should be able to just go there and get it. You should be able to say, I know I have this, or I don't have this. And in the book, you'll see, I don't have a copy, you'll get a copy. Each quarter will give you that motivation. Each quarter will tell you or kind of ask you, did you have any changes since the last quarter? We just don't like to talk about money. People think it's an embarrassing moment. It's not about what you have. It's what you trying to get at. What are you trying to leave for somebody to understand that I might not have been in a situation similar to whoever, but I'm growing. And I want you to know what my intentions were. So let's bring it all together. Clarity creates confidence. Protection preserves peace. Legacy ensures order. When it comes to clarity, you have to know exactly where you are financially. The decisions become easier, and anxiety is a scary thing these days because we can just be okay, and then one day, another cut. Remember, cutbacks with no collapse. Protection is the proper safeguardings. When you sleep at night, I'm good. I know. I'm able to tell people what they need to do. I'm good. And then when it comes to legacy, we organize our documentation. We transform a crisis into a management situation that I know what I need most for my family. So take this 90-day, this call to action, take a 90-day implementation plan, monthly clarity. Let's think about those 30 days that we talked about earlier, about that financial challenge or that clarity challenge. Document all those accounts that you know. It's not hard. You'd be surprised that the ones that you say, I don't need this. Why do I still have this? Baby done been out the house for 2 months and I'm still paying for something that he had. Protection. Every 2 months, make sure that you have authentication that your spouse or close person would know. If something happens to you, they know how to get in there. Review your insurance coverage. Establish family codes. These code words. In my bank account, I got hacked twice, so I have a code. And I had it on 2 banks, and I put them on all of them. That's the first thing they do. They ask you, what is the code? It's a good way to do things. Legacy, create a legacy binder, which you will get, the book, and review your beneficiaries. And make sure that you share that information with the people that you need to. The compound effects will change. This practice is implemented, and you invest 3 to 5 hours monthly, you'll see things changing. It's a good thing to be on top of stuff. I mean, that's the best thing. And the structure will stand. And earlier we saw the columns that we know we want to keep this strand. Pressure exists when structure holds. Money moves when wisdom stays. And habits secure what's rightfully yours. So at this time, I'll take any questions. If anybody have any questions or comments or, no?
Well, first I want to thank Michael. Oh, there's a question. Mr. Collins, you got a question?
I have a comment. You want me to go ahead? Go ahead, the mic is there. The people in my family, the reason that some of them have financial issues is our mindset. And I'm sure it's not just my family.
No.
Sometimes they want to go out and buy, and I'm not picking on any particular name brands. You know, they want to get that Chanel bag that's $5,000, and this that costs $10,000. And if you notice, people that really have money, they dress in Sears jeans and drive, you know, smaller, older cars, used cars. I was just going to comment, we need to also look at our mindset. You know, because I have a couple of, you know, designer purses. I don't have a Chanel. I'm Michael Kors, which I guess it probably played out. But let's talk a little bit about our mindset. That can cause us to have debt as well.
Yeah, oftentimes I flip this back to emotions. It's because people, how many of y'all done heard, I want to get my kid everything that I got? Didn't have, I'm sorry, I didn't have, it must be out. I don't, or didn't have. Why? They're not producing anything in your house to allow them to have that. It's a status thing because their mindset is, he don't have it, or he have it, so I need it. So yeah, you're so right that we had a couple of guys that was when I was at the Y Invest in Youth, and he actually came and said, I'm embarrassed to be here. And this guy was 17 here. He was just getting ready to retire. Not retire, but graduate. He had over, I want to say about $7,000 worth of stuff on. And when he told me, I couldn't get down to it. I didn't even see it. His glasses was $1,500. And he said that he only did it because his father was trying to make up for lost time. He was investing in youth. He was one of the top people that wrote an essay that was on our winning selections. And you're so right that people don't see the future, and that's what we have to do.
Well, that's a good segue into what I was going to mention.
I don't think it's on. You can try it. Oh. No, I think it's.
That's a good segue to what I was going to, my question, not a question, my statement I was going to bring up to you. I'm a South Florida School Board trustee. And
Thank you.
In the 26-27 year, we will be offering business and personal finance courses in our curriculum.
That's very good.
For our high school students.
And what we found in education, I was on the steering group from Michigan Jumpstart. There's a financial literacy. When I came out in 2000, so we've been trying to get it into high schools. Just going to high school. Legislators said, well, it's no problem. Average legislators make over $100,000, $150,000, so yeah, it ain't a problem for them. So once we said, okay, let's try half a credit. But they did just what Southfield said. They said, we'll leave it up to the school district to see how valuable it is. Because a lot of times back in the day, I know I was in econ classes and we might have talked about how writing a check, that was about it.
Right.
We're not buying a house. You ain't going to buy a house. You can't afford a house. I don't know. But now we are there, and thanks for that reminding us that the schools have that opportunity to do so.
I had two comments. The first comment was regarding you were talking about scams and online things. One of the things that I find that are most prevalent that gets a lot of seniors is calls or emails that offers like a sense of urgency, like you gotta do it now. And individuals get scared and say, you know, their Social Security or something like that. And I find that because they push them into expediency and not they don't have time to call anybody. So we need to let our seniors know that if you get those type of calls or questions, just hang up.
Yep.
Back away. Because I've had experiences with family members and friends that they're going to ATMs taking out money.
Yes.
And they don't even have it, but they're taking it out.
Pause before panic. We did Michigan Jumpstart, not Michigan Jumpstart, Money Smart Week. Financial Literacy Month is April. And we had, we was all over. We was in Mary Grove. And the lady had her mother there. She brought her mother there. Earlier I talked about the Canadian scam. I'll tell you what was going on. And she said, I finally got her to talk. Would you tell him about last week? She spoke about it. So this guy called her and said that she won the lottery. She had to pay $3,000 in 4 installments. She paid him 3. He told her everything that someone else would tell her. She told her daughter, he said you would say that, meaning that don't pay him, he's a scam. The mother was believing him because they hack your emotions before they hack your money. So he already told her, well, you know, your daughter gonna say you shouldn't pay me, but I'm telling you, you pay me this, you'll get your money. So she thought it was so urgent because he gave a timeline. Scammers they're gonna give you a timeline. Pause and patience are what we teach. We teach especially senior citizens in their home. You're so right that they're lost, and if they don't have nobody to call, they'll do it, and then they'll tell you about it later.
And then I have one more comment.
Yes.
It was regarding the legacy part. One of the things that I've been reading on is legacy dealing with our our property, our phones and our pictures and our cloud, that we need to set those things up along with our papers and insurances. Because
Totally agree.
If you get locked out of this, it's just...
Absolutely. It's a mindset.
Well, I got a two-fold question. How do you think the impact of 2020 and financial isolation increased the eagerness of scamming people? But one of the things I have noticed is it seems like that went up in 2020.
Scammers love calamity.
And then, I guess the other root problem I want to look at is how do we change the mindset of always wanting more? Because that's one of the biggest issues we have in this country, that we're greedy. There's never enough.
The first one is calamity. In any instance, this is the time. Uncertainty, what's going on at that place in Washington, wherever it is. All these things are happening for a reason in terms of how we, if somebody's going to go out and get you engaged in what they're only going to talk about what they need, and they're going to make it sound good. It's business people that are getting scammed through a process of, I've been getting my equipment from this person all the time, and you telling me now I can get it for cheaper? Yeah, I want to buy it. And they never see it. They make those payments on it. But your second point is you're so right. Wanting more. We teach financial stability before financial freedom. Because these kids get on Instagram and that's all they hear, financial freedom. And I tell you, 9 out of them 10 cats that's telling you can make $1 million in 3 days are lying to you. But they don't believe that. Financial stability is the biggest test that we as adults sometimes don't even clear. Is making it over and over, breaking even. Breaking even is a good thing. I would say it's a good thing to break even and to learn how to spend what you have. What when you reach your level saying, okay, I made it. But their mindset has changed in terms of, I want more because somebody else got more.
As it relates to emails, McAfee and Norton, how valuable is it to have one of those for you?
I personally like Norton's. I pay for it. McAfee, I don't know. I got a lot of issues with McAfee. I don't want to get into it, but I pay for Norton's because they have a lot of services, identifying, They'll call you every time somebody, even I go to Best Buy, if I set a standard, contact me, they'll do it.
If you got a question, you can call.
I got a question, they can call and they answer you. And they have insurance. If you get scammed over $1 million or whatever, they'll pay it. You know, they'll get involved with that process because it takes a lot to get whole again in terms. So,
Mike,
yes.
what is the,
Excuse me.
okay.
Yes, you.
What days are some of the spreadsheets that are good to put your finances down?
Are you speaking of apps or actually spreadsheets? Now, when you say,
Apps, whatever.
well, Rocket Money is pretty good. Rocket Money,
Rocket Money?
yep. Honeydew is good, and Mint.com is one that's good. They're pretty good. They'll give you some feedback. You have to, it's not different ones for different ones. If you can get a budget, plus it'll go out and look at everything that you have in terms of purchases, and they'll let you know what you spent in the last month. And if you want to eliminate them, you can do it through that app.
So Rocket Money, Honeydew, and
Mint.com. Mint.com may have changed their name, but if you put Mint in there, it'll give you, yeah.
Brother Lyles, you got a question?
Yeah, the collaboration of LifeLock and Norton, can you expound on that?
Well, they've merged. So LifeLock, every time, if you go to, anytime somebody pull your credit, you get a notification.
Right.
Norton's protect any scam. You can set your certain levels. They actually notify you if your name show up on the dark web.
Right.
It's because a lot of times you can change your password and it might still show up there, but you want to know that. So you change your password again. And how many of y'all ever got hacked with Facebook? Simple thing, just change the password. Because that's hard for them to protect and they don't really try. But if you get hacked and somebody else, and the way to tell if you know somebody, that person is my friend. I mean, we share Facebook, because especially us, it's easy picture albums or whatever you want to call it, we still like us on Facebook. So if you get a request and you say, I think Pat, I already have Pat, she's one of my friends. Go to Pat, go on your friends and look at Pat, and if Pat have 99 mutual friends, and then that person that sent you one got 5, they hacked you. Just change your password. That's the only way you can really tell, is that whatever you get, because they're good at getting the same picture, but they can't change that number.
Okay, I just have 2 comments. One is in regards to the legacy. A lot of y'all know my mother recently passed at 95, and she got her insurance when the insurance man came around for the $22.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we tried to do was cancel her policy or let us get whatever money they were going to give her. We had a difficult time even talking about it till it turned out it wasn't even worth it. The other thing is, my mother was a planner as far as her last wishes. My mother planned everything. She had a meeting. She told everybody what they were getting, where to find it, and everything. She planned the funeral. She planned the repast. She said, they gonna come thinking we gonna set out a spread, serve soup and sandwiches, because that was my mother's favorite meal, and that's what we did. Now, as far as the scams, I work at a hotel on the front desk, and we have 24-hour front desk. A young lady that was working the night shift one night got a phone call, and this person told her that they owned the hotel and that they needed the money out of the safe now. The safe, we don't have no combination to it. She went and got everything she could. It's all on camera, how they told her how to break into the safe. There's supposed to be somebody at the front desk all time. They had to get all the money out, take it to somewhere in Garden City, and get Bitcoin.
Yeah.
The money gone.
Yep. Yeah, they are so clever. One of the scams that was really amazing is that this guy ran a ring out of prison. He was in prison. He called a friend, and if you're ever at a hotel, this happens. Sometimes you might be in your room and you get a call from somebody at the front desk and said that you just checked in. Could you come back and verify your credit card? Well, instead, he told these people working, in fact, I had to tape, I think one of the meetings I had to tape where he explained it all. He's telling them, no, what I want you to do is tell them that you're going to make it convenient for them. You just give me a credit card over the phone. It was people that was doing it. And he's talking to them, and they know they just checked in. And because he got somebody, he had somebody at the hotel, and they finding the room out. So they said, okay, this person just checked in. So,
Get a book.
yeah, let her,
Get the book.
yeah.
It's underneath.
Yeah, she have a book. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but some things are just common sense. If it sounds too good to be true, you know, 9 times out of 10, you know, it's not true, right? So I received a Zelle payment. I have Zelle, and I received I received the phone call first, and the young lady said, I just sent you $60 through Zelle. She said, I transposed the phone number, a number. Can you please send it back? And I said, no. I said, I would not do it. I said, you call your banking institution and you have them. Because in fact, she did, whoever it was, did send the $60. But because my mind instantly went into scam mode,
Yes.
I know if I would have said, yes, you know, you can take this money back out of my account, it was going to be 60 plus 60 plus 60. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
I said, no. I said, so if you want it, send it from your bank. And so then the person that I am, I called my bank. I said, this money does not belong to me. I said, you can take it out at your risk and, you know, return it back, you know, whether it was a scam or not. But I'm not going to be the one that's, you know, responsible for doing that. Because instantly my antennas went off. There's so much going on in the world.
You have to. I was in Lansing, and I left this gas station, the Big B, and by the time I got home, I got an email from a Big B, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I just love it. And I looked at the top, and if somebody, I don't know how they did the connection there, but it wasn't true. It had a link down there to go forward to do it, because people are learning, you know, all these different systems. They learn all about how, and then you have people, again, that are stewards over your money and your assets and your passwords and all those things. So you gotta think through the whole process. Is this right?
Yeah.
It's too good to be true.
It's all the time from UPS. Oh, your package is going to be delayed, right? So
Click on the link.
nowadays, you're always doing online shopping. So that's the first thing. Oh my goodness, my package is going to be delayed and ain't going to be here in time for Christmas. It's a scam.
Yeah.
Just common sense.
Okay. I want to thank Michael again for his presentation. Now, the Social Justice Committee of John Wesley is committed to helping us know and learn about the social environment that we live in. Part of that social environment is the economic environment, which is why we've been so fortunate to have Michael. He's got a book that the Social Justice Committee has purchased. Each one of you can get one book. Now, Michael has also purchased written several other books. I buy each one of them and I try to use them. You can look at the stand, you can make your own decision. But I know every time you write the book, I'm the first or second person who gets it because his wife's office is right across from mine. And I don't let her go home otherwise. The point is, we have the ability to help ourselves. We urge you to help yourself. Get the books, read them, and then implement them. It's no good to buy the book and not read it.
Yeah.
It's no good to buy the book, read it, and not implement it. So it's a three-step process. Now, pick up your book, and you will also see an envelope. We urge you to support the social ministry, social justice ministry of John Wesley. You can do so by making a donation to John Wesley in his own church and put social memo, social justice in the memo. And if you really want to support this ministry, you can join. We just started in the conference here. Excuse me. We're halfway through the conference here. It is not too late to join. Dues of $60 a year, and it goes to support programs like this. So we urge you to come again and to join us in our ministry. This is a ministry that supports God's people to grow other people. Again, thank you, Michael.
Yeah, if I could still say one thing, if I could just say one other thing, that I do my second book, The Habit Effect, Your Life, Your Money. I wrote that, and I got not just bestseller on it, they implemented it in schools, they implemented it to National Association of Entrepreneurs. But my books go towards the mentoring groups. So not saying you have to purchase the data online, but if there's an opportunity to help any young person, I don't charge anything, and I'm bringing these young men under my wings so I can push them over into our men's ministry group. But learning what we oftentimes lack in terms of when we were at a certain age, where do we get our information from? Some of us were more, had opportunities than others. But now that I'm trying to get these young people to understand, especially young men, I do have that out there. It's what we call a prosperity pledge. In terms of buying a book, this goes directly. When I give events, I give them out. I have student copies here, just give them out. It's because even if they don't read it, the next time that brother tell you, I'm gonna ask you, or it's your brother, what page, which page was you on? I think you,
my brother?
yeah, I think I gave both of y'all one.
Yeah, I have it.
Yes. Yes, that's part of our ministry, and the main ministry that I'm trying to build. So the opportunity is yours, but it was a pleasure to share the information that I know that will change our lives, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.